Evan Welter is here now with the latest in DePaul sports. So Evan, the challenges keep coming for the DePaul women's soccer team.
Yeah, they've hit a bit of a rough patch lately. After a tie with St. John's and a loss to Providence, the DePaul women's soccer team looked to get back into the win column when they took on Georgetown at Wish Field.
Sunny day was full of Chicago baseball.
What a beautiful day it was, with both teams sitting atop their respective leagues. The White Sox and the Cubs look to keep rolling on their current hot streaks. The Blue Demons open up Dave Lato's second run as head coach at the school here at McGrath-Phillips Arena on November 7th. The team opens up Big East play on December 30th in Allstate Arena. Let's move now to women's basketball. The number 22 ranked Lady Blue Demons ended their exhibition schedule with a win over Lewis, 87-67. Post-graduation is a very tough time. The job market is not as big as it once was, and finding a job can be difficult. Thankfully, DePaul has many programs that can help you on your search. Finally, DePaul held its annual tip-off luncheon to officially kick off the basketball season. Good Day DePaul's Jenna Duddleston was there.
Public safety patrols the area very closely, but cannot stop every crime. The best way for students to stay safe is to be alert and pay attention to their surroundings.
On a final note, DePaul women's basketball coach Doug Bruno will be leading the Lady Blue Demons for an extra year after the university added a one-year extension to his contract. Bruno is now committed to the school through the 2020-2021 season. Bruno is entering his 30th season as head coach at DePaul and has a record of 587 wins and 309 losses. His win total ranks him 18th among active women's coaches in the country and second overall in the Big East. He's led the team to 13 consecutive NCAA tournaments and 20 overall in his tenure. Good to see Bruno back for an extra year.
All right, thanks, Evan.
When John Lester and Joe Madden signed with the Chicago Cubs this past offseason, people joked at why a big-name manager and an all-star pitcher would ever go and manage and play for a last-place team, a team that hasn't captured a championship since 1908. Fast forward to the end of this season, and everyone can see why. Brian Meeker, a DePaul grad student, says the season was a big deal for him and many fans.
It's difficult rooting for a team that is consistently not great, but you just keep going and you keep hoping. You just hope that it's going to keep getting better. And so when you see a team that starts to perform and starts to make it exciting to go to the games, instead of like, let's go to the Cubs game, it's like, let's go to the Cubs game. There's a really good chance they're going to win today. It makes you feel like your loyalty and your faith in the team is being rewarded finally.
Meeker, a diehard Cubs fan, moved a few blocks away from Wrigley Field several years ago, hoping that eventually he'd get to experience an atmosphere like the one during the playoffs this year.
I can hear the organ play from my apartment. I can hear the cheers of the crowd. I can hear the national anthem from my apartment, and that's magic. It's absolute magic, especially this season. It's great to see this many people here. It's wonderful. It makes this neighborhood come alive, honestly.
The addition of Lester, along with the promotion of Chris Bryant, Addison Russell, and Kyle Schwarber from the minor leagues, boosted the Cubs from the lovable losers of baseball to one of the most feared teams going forward. Meeker feels that with this core group of players, the team will be good for years to come.
This Cubs season meant hopefully the beginning of really good things. There's been a lot of talk over the years about development in the farm league, bringing up these younger players, trying to lay a foundation for the future. And this recent, 2 or 3 years has been this kind of sense like, let's build something that's going to last.
Although they were swept by the New York Mets in the National League Championship Series, there's more hope than ever for next year. As Meeker and many other fans hope, next year may actually be the year.
With under a month until kickoff, the Taft High School football team took to the gridiron on Monday for one of their many summer workouts. The message of the day was to build off last season.
Last season went well. We're building a program here. We kind of came in, tried to make a culture change, change the way we did things. It was the second year of that process. We made the playoffs, so it was a step in the right direction. We just hope to build on that.
After going from a losing record the season before, the Tigers came out and went 6-3 last year. The major turnaround was led by the Oregon Class 3A All-State Offensive Player of the Year winner Pete Lottie, who graduated at the end of the year. Although his absence creates a new challenge, head coach James Mick is confident his players can step up in his place.
We lost Pete Lottie, who was an all-state quarterback, so that's some big shoes to fill. We have a younger kid, Everett Thomas, who's been in the offense for a couple years. He's got a big arm, and we feel confident that he can kind of step in and take some of those reps.
The rest of the team is very confident in this season as well. After graduating only 4 seniors, the team is almost fully intact, something that rarely happens in high school football.
We basically do have the same team without, we lost three, 4 seniors. So, it's not like we lost too much. We did lose Pete and like Parker Payne, they were our big playmakers, but I feel like we're going to do just fine this season, maybe take it a little further.
However, this season's schedule is much tougher than last year's.
Our schedule has got significantly tougher, which is great for us because that's what we need to be able to do. If we're going to move on and have success in the playoffs, we need to know what it's like to compete against tough teams.
The tough schedule is what makes the team excited for this year. If the Tigers make it through the season with a good enough record, they believe they can make a deep playoff run. After a 1-10 start, the DePaul men's soccer team turned their season around. They went 4-2-1 in their final 7 games to clinch their first Big East tournament since 2011. This turnaround was keyed by the outstanding goalkeeping from senior captain Mac Robinson.
He's been outstanding, consistent, and made the saves that he needed to make, and he's really been definitely a part of that backbone right up the spine that's given us that everyday consistency and to get the wins.
Robinson has been one of the best goalkeepers in the Big East this season. He's had 56 saves and only allowed 1.2 goals per game, making him 5th in each category in the conference. After battling through a tough injury in the offseason, Robinson says the team's turnaround has been extra special for him.
I tore my ACL back in February, and the drive to get back within the past 6 months and win the starting spot back and come back from 1-10. Talk about a comeback story. That's an unreal feeling.
After Robinson's injury, Coach Blazer knew it could take some time for the senior captain to get back into top form, but never lost faith in his ability.
With Mac's injury in February, and he's a college student athlete, he's not a professional athlete, and for him to do what he did, to come back in such a short amount of time is awesome.
After getting back into top form during the team's turnaround, Robinson allowed only 6 goals in 7 games. He had a season-high 11 saves and a scoreless double overtime tie with Providence, and recorded 3 shutouts during the streak. He says a lot of factors contributed to the team's comeback.
I think it was just, we were tired. We were tired of losing, and sometimes all you need is a little bit of luck to turn the season around, and that's what we did. Maybe we got a pass or a goal that went our way, and we took advantage of it and made the best out of it and turned it into a pretty good Big East season.
No matter the outcome for the Blue Demons this season, it will always be a memorable one for Robinson and the team. Rubber match in Cleveland, Royals and Indians. Bottom 5, Indians trying to tie things up, and they do. Michael Brantley serves a 2-2 pitch to left. Francisco Lindor comes around to score. It's 3-3. 2 batters later, Lonnie Chisenhall gives the Tribe the lead with a single to right. Michael Brantley comes around from second, and Cleveland goes up 4-3. Indians take the game and the series, 5-4 your final. Now let's take a look at the AL Central standings. With the win, the White Sox stay 5 games ahead of the second-place Indians, who beat the Royals today. The defending champs drop 6 back, and Detroit sits in 4th place, 7 games off the pace. DePaul women taking on Georgetown at McGrath-Phillips Arena. Blue Demons looking to stay even with first-place Seton Hall. We pick it up in the first half. DePaul feeling it from beyond the arc. Guard Brittany Rinko dribbles to the free throw line and dishes it to a wide-open Megan Podkawa, who knocks down the tray. One of 10 first-half threes for the Blue Demons. They go up 14. Later in the half, Jessica January pushes the ball up. It gets passed around and finds Podkawa again. She knocks down another one from beyond three-point land. She finishes with 14. In the second, DePaul runs away with it. Lauren Proshashka dribbles the ball up and passes to a wide-open Ashton Melender for another tray, their 13th on the day. DePaul goes on and wins by 41, 93-52, keeping them 1 game back of Seton Hall. DePaul's men's team taking on Marquette on Senior Day at Wish Field. A win guarantees them a spot in the Big East tournament. We jump to the 29th minute, score tied at 0. Simon McGalley boots the corner kick into traffic, but Kevin Byer comes from nowhere and heads it in to put the Blue Demons up 1. 4 minutes later, DePaul strikes again. Junior Caleb Pothest passes the ball to Jalen Harvey, who spins by the defender and slides it past the goalie for the goal. Harvey's 3rd on the year puts the Blue Demons up 2-0. DePaul then puts the game away in the 61st minute. Sophomore Hans Wessling kicks the ball from the right side of the field right to Eric Rodriguez, who slides in and taps the ball into the back of the net. DePaul goes 4-2-1 in their final 7 games to get them a spot in the Big East tournament. They'll take on Xavier in the first round.